Whoa. It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on space ship Earth. Yeah. I'm here coming to you live on this. A sober Wednesday stream dedicated to the solution and not the problem. And here we are. Let me just open up with the serenity prayer, man. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Dude, it's trippy, dude. I was out feeding the animals and doing some stuff in the garden. And like there was no, like, there's a road out there. And there were no cars on the road. Like the whole time I was out there, one car came by. But usually it's like I feed at like 6. There's a lot of cars. And I was like, it wasn't always that way. The road was closed for like 2 years because of the floods. A couple of years ago, it blew out the road. So there wasn't a lot of traffic. And then they opened it back up this fall. So there's been a lot of traffic, but there was no traffic. And I was sitting there and I was like, that's weird. There's like no cars. It's so quiet and so peaceful. And then I was like, maybe it was the rapture. Like everyone's gone. And I was like, wouldn't that be fantastic? I had that moment where I was like, maybe I'm just sitting here at my ranch and everybody's gone, dude. No, I don't think so. But I had a moment where I was entertaining that headspace for a minute, just enjoying the mountains and the quiet and the animals, eating some fresh carrots and peas and contemplating Sober Wednesday, dude. We're a little late. We're doing a 7 to 8, but yeah, I was thinking about sobriety and what we were gonna get into today and what's going on, man. Preamble. Where's my coffee, dude? Where's my paraplegic brand coffee? This stream's dedicated to those who are hoping to achieve sobriety or who are curious about sobriety or maybe want to be sober in the future or just want to hang out, man. We're about the solution. We're trying to stay out of the problem because the problem is everywhere. It's everything and everyone. There's problems, man. It is part of the human condition. It's how we deal with those problems that separate us from being loaded, normal, or sober. And the normie doesn't need to get sober. They just go about their business, which means they don't get the spiritual elixir that sobriety gives you. And the other group is wasted because they can't deal with the problems. And or they just like being wasted and it got out of control. So whatever that is for you, that could be pizza, that could be 12 packs, bottles of tequila, benzos, kratom, nicotine, gambling, sex, whatever your drug of choice is that is blocking you from a fruitful relationship with God. We're here to talk about the solution. And the solution is a certain amount of acceptance of self, dude. And understanding that it's okay to be totally flawed. It's okay to be a mess. It's okay to have problems. It's okay not to win. It's okay to lose. And it's going to be okay. We just try to get through this one day at a time. One day at a time. We're not worried about tomorrow. And we're not dwelling on yesterday. We're just trying to get through today without having to to fill our bodies full of altering substances, re-regulate our body chemistry to soothe our problem-based head. And it's really about the self-talking mind. So with that said, I probably should read something. Oh dear me. I have lost track of my big book, dude. Or my medium-sized big book. Where is my big book? I sure hope someone stole it and is using it for the solution. Huh. Scanning for the big book. It eludes me right now. Where is it, dude? That's so weird. Oh, did I? Man searches for meaning. Where is it? Huh. Well, I'll be. I asked the Beatles. I asked Timothy Leary. I looked under tables. They couldn't help me either. Huh. Well, we're gonna have to wing it, dude. Let me see. Let me pull up the promises, dude. Here. The promises. Oh, look, it came right up, dude. Here we go. Bam. I'm going to read the promises from the Big Book, Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83, 84. This is not an AA meeting or affiliated with AA in any way, shape, or form. We know some of us have found that AA is a super successful way to maintain sobriety and find sobriety. And it is a way to change your life and change your perception. But hey, man, if you got to do it your own way, good luck with that, dude. I got 15 years under my belt that says that this seems to be working. AA, the promises. If we're painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past and wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We'll intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They're being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Since I like the way this is laid out, dude. I'm going to print this out, dude. Bam, dude. I do appreciate the way it's all numbered and printed out, dude. I got a PDF document, yo. Isaac Brusso, 30 months. Good for you, man. Good for you. Kicking weed next. It's a prison. Yeah, weed's the great hustle, dude. Weed is the great hustle, dude. And if you don't worry about tomorrow, it's a lot harder to get through. If you don't worry about tomorrow. We got one of you guys here, dude. Troublemaker. I see. I got it. A contrarian, dude. What's going on, Dan Z? Good to see you. Got Ballpark Paradise. We got Pamela Center, Mike T in here, dude, on a super mellow sober Wednesday, dude. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So I don't know, dude. I don't really know what the subject matter is about tonight in Sober Wednesday. I think there's a certain level of it's I've had this thing I think about sometimes of like, so I was dealing with somebody I know from the past, someone who's roughly my age, still seeking drugs. And I was like, dude, like I'm gonna be 56 here in like 2 weeks, right? Be 56. I can't imagine, like, at this stage of my life getting hammered or needing to get hammered or wanting to get hammered. It's like, I think I'm far enough down like the sobriety pipeline where it really does seem childish. Like, and that's sort of where I'm at with it, is like, I don't quite growing life organic. Well, get back on the wagon, man. Maybe you weren't doing it with like how we do it, where we stay on the wagon with other people, man. What's going on, heavyweight dancer? Super important to have a group of our fellow sobers around you, dude, to help you stay on the wagon, man. But I was sort of thinking about like, what a weird concept. Like, it's weird. I understand getting ham skied. I lost my father and it threw me off. Yeah, dude. I mean, I guess I would say that's kind of a cop out. It wasn't the loss of your father. That was a convenient excuse. Not to be super harsh on you, dude. I just literally sat with my dad 2 weeks ago and watched him take his last breath. Like, and my dad was cool, man. It's just, I am not trying to blow you up on that. Is any excuse will do, dude. Any excuse will do, dude. At the end of the day, it's alcoholism's just looking for an excuse, right? That is the self-talking mind. See, the self-talking mind says, I can't cope, I can't deal, I can't. And that's really what we're up against, is the self-talking mind. But then again, I mean, growing life organic, I would gather in that, maybe I'm wrong, it does not seem like one has a solid AA sober support system, dude. I mean, again, as everybody does it, wants to do it their way, but there seems to be a track record of maintaining sobriety through dire circumstances that is based upon having a community of people that you can lean in on, not people you hang out with. Listen, I don't hang out with sober people like that. Like AA people aren't people I'm hanging out with, dude. They're people I call in a pinch, dude. They're people that I call, and I don't need to know them, dude. They're people that I will talk to and go, dude, my life is falling apart, and I just needed to make sure I don't drink, dude. Because the one thing that's guaranteed is that nothing's going to get better if I drink or do blow. See, all right, growing life organic. I was hoping you would admit that. That's super important to admit. Growing life organic. Listen, man, is to cop out and use an excuse is a wonderful truth to experience, right? Like, you need to know that. We all need to know that truth. And that truth is powerful, dude. That's why you just get right back on the wagon and just go, okay, and explore what that cop out is, dude. Because listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want to drink. Like, I want to drink. Like, I'd love to get ham skied. I don't understand it. I don't know what it would do to me anymore. Remember when, like, I don't know if you know the story. Ram Dass goes and to some ashram and meets the guru or whatever, and get Ram Dass gives the dude a bunch of acid, and the dude eats like a sheet of acid, and it's like Ram Dass is like tripping, like, and the dude's like, what? Like, what? Like, so what? I sort of have that. I know that I have an allergic reaction to alcohol, but that's sort of the way I feel about drugs and alcohol. It's like, yeah, so what? Like, if it could solve my problems, remember that movie they had where the dude takes it's with Bradley Cooper, where the dude takes the drugs and it makes him like super genius and he solves all the problems, and he's like, he even figures out how to make the drug and solves all the problems. Like, if I knew it would solve the problem, I might actually like be tempted to pound a bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever it was, dude. Johnny Walker, what, green, dude? Whatever it was. But I know it won't solve the problem. That's the problem with because when alcohol solved the problem, I was young, dude. Like let's not like misconstrue it, right? I'm not an abstinence guy. I'm a sober dude. I don't believe in abstinence, man. No, I believe in sobriety, dude. Sobriety makes getting drugs and alcohol child's play. That's what I was thinking. Like, abstinence is giving it power, dude. Sobriety is not giving a fuck, dude, about it, dude. Like, I don't, there's nothing even interesting about like drugs and alcohol, man. Like, whatever, dude. Like that's what I'm trying to say. And but because I can say that, I won't sit here and say that it didn't work. Drugs and alcohol worked fantastic for me in my youth, my prime, dude. You know, it did what it was supposed to do, and then it didn't. And then I chased it. I was like, well, maybe it will work once again. And every now and then it would give me enough to make me. I remember even at the end. I remember at the end sitting up on my perch, up on top of that mountain next to the abandoned pool, listening to my music, getting ham skied, and like it would all click in, and I would like get the king of the world vibe going on, and be orchestrating the whole thing. And then I wake up with the vicious hangover back to where I started again, miserable, pissed off, not feeling well, all of the above, dude. I will say like that. There is, yeah, I look at it like I trip out on it, man. I think, and again, it's a healthy understanding that like I am an alcoholic. Like, that's why I say I want to drink. Not because I'm going to drink, because if I don't understand that my mind wants a drink to solve the problem, like, so my mind tells me that how you solve the problem is to like just erase the problem from the front of my brain, dude. Just here, just drink. But see, I know from studying my own internal mechanisms, my disease, my alcoholism, my own character defects, that at this point there is no amount of alcohol or drugs or pills that can turn off my mind anymore. It used to be able to. I used to be able to get like ham skied and just have the spiritual blah and just like make things happen and just, run amok, dude. And it all worked. Like, I know for a fact right now that there is no amount of alcohol or drugs that can turn off the wheels in here. And it may hide them. It may like shroud them for a period of time. Like, you're not going to tell me that if I didn't just do a giant like main line of some sort of like opiates, I wouldn't just like lose consciousness and not be thinking anything. But eventually I would be right back where I was started. But knowing that I short circuited myself with a bunch of opiates, dude, right? So I don't, there's not really any like thing. And trust me, dude, I got problems, man, in life, dude. I got the kind of problems in life that right now that your normal untrained alcoholic would crack under, dude. Crack, dude. I got so much going on. I got so much weird shit happening in my life right now. And I know at the core of my being that alcohol or drugs would not do anything to help it. And I do know that the only way I am going to solve the problem that I have going on, like I have some super, super, super hard math problems going on right now in life, dude. Like metaphysical math problems, dude. I am a psychonaut, dude. That drugs and alcohol aren't going to solve them. The one thing I know for sure is sobriety will give me the ability to be present enough to solve it when the pieces line up, right? And that's what I would suggest is one of the gifts of sobriety isn't that it solves the problem for you. It allows you to be present. So when the solution does arrive, you're like, oh, there's the solution, dude. Like, I don't know what the solution is with what's going on in my life right now. Like I'm truly in like a gnarly limbo. But nowhere in there am I trying to anesthetize myself. It's very uncomfortable. I will tell you, like my life right now is teetering on catastrophe, and super uncomfortable, full of fear and unknowns and all of that stuff. But in the whole thing, the beauty of sobriety is like that's the main lining of the God hit, dude, of just big giant God bong hit right there is just like just sitting in it, dude, just sitting in the thing and carrying on. You know what I've been doing instead of fretting about my life? I've been retiling my living room floor, dude. That's what that's what a sober dude does. When the shit is hitting the fan, they come up with something that is truly beneficial to them in the long run, which is I totally ripped out the carpet in my living room, and I spent the last 2 weeks tiling my living room floor with here, I'll show you, dude. This is like the first half, dude. I showed it last night on but this is this is what I've been up to, dude. This is what I've been up to while many people would be sitting on their couch drinking and ripping bong hits and taking pills to cope with their problem. I just took the couch out of the living room and laid down, ripped up the carpet and put down fake wood ceramic tiles, dude. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what sobriety will do for you. Your sobriety will like, and the whole time I'm super uncomfortable about what's going on in my life, dude. Like super, like the other day, 2 days ago, there was a knot in my stomach, and I don't do anxiety. I don't even believe in anxiety, dude. But I was like, I guess that's what anxiety is. I don't really know, but felt like, I don't know if I drank too much of paraplegic brand coffee, dude, or I was just so twisted up about what was going on. And I laid tiles, man. I just like sat there and mixed up that thin set and laid tiles, and like I even monkeyed a little corner of it, but like whatever, man. And then I grouted it, and like it's almost done, dude. And what I'm getting at is like that's what sobriety will give you, is productive solutions. Like I didn't, trust me, if you knew what was going on in my head you would lay down, put your thumb in your mouth and curl up in a ball and just go, please, God, let this end any way possible. Mushroom clouds for all my friends, dude. But that's not it, dude. Like that's not it. That's what I'm saying about like drugs and alcohol being child's play. Like this dude, the only drug that's gonna work is like 10,000 nuclear warheads all exploding at once, dude. Bro. Like that's the only way that it's gonna shut this off. And I don't even know if that would work. I'd just be sitting up there with God, like, dude, really? Like, and he'd be like, dude, it didn't work, did it? I'd be like, no, dude. He's like, dude, you were just supposed to stay in the problem, man. Let me help you, dude. Having found, turn your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand them, dude. The situations that used to baffle us, we intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us, dude. That's what I mean. It's like I have a baffling situation going on, dude. How am I handling it? I'm laying tile in my living room floor, dude. Because that tile will always now be a totem to me overcoming one of life's gnarly obstacles, dude, and not cucking out, dude, not going to a bottle. And again, is I understand the want to go drink. Like, trust me. Like my alcoholism, its first thought wasn't to go tile the living room floor in adversity. My first thought was, fuck, dude, I need a drink, dude. This sucks. Like, fuck. And then I looked at my son who's gonna be 10 here in a minute. I go, he's in it with me, dude. He don't get a drink. I don't get a drink, dude. So what are we gonna do? And he's like, Dad, I'm gonna help you tile, dude. So me and Al have been tiling, dude. Little dude's been helping me out, man. And yeah, and life's gnarly, dude. And then somehow in this thing is you find the joy, dude. Like I said, I was standing out in my garden tonight and I fucking felt serenity, dude. I felt serenity, dude. Our whole attitude upon outlook upon life will change, dude. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change, dude. Like I'm pretty convinced human beings are just moronic, but my outlook about the morons is completely different than when I was loaded. See, when I was loaded, dude, I just wanted them all to die. Now I just hope they find the solution, dude. It might be the final solution, but I just hope they find a solution, right? No, I'm kidding there, man. But little gallows humor, right? It's we will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. I got some of that today. Dude. And it's only because I'm sober, dude. Because there's absolutely, and that's what I was in the garden thinking about this, right? Like how like childish the need to anesthetize yourself is, you know? And again, is as I'm not knocking it, I'm not knocking it on this. Like, I'm not, like, just to be super clear, I'm not against drugs and alcohol. Like, I'm not one of those dudes. I think they're stupid. And I have a lifetime of experience with them to know. Listen, I got to experience the stupidity of drugs and alcohol from a personal perspective, right? I used them, abused them, burned my life down with them. And they got me to be sober, right? They got me to have this spiritual understanding to make this relationship with God. So they kind of worked in the long run, dude, to get me to where I needed to get. But in sobriety, right, I have really come to the conclusion of watching other people how childish drugs and alcohol are. Because I'm like, wow, like they don't work. They ain't working, dude. And the proof is everywhere. Like our entire society is wrecked from drugs and alcohol, dude. Like our entire society. And again, is the solution's not to take the drugs and the alcohol away. The solution is to actually live a new life, dude, and make drugs and alcohol as irrelevant as a landline phone. See, I think that's the way I view like so if I look at my own life, this is a good metaphor, right? Is it a metaphor or an analogy? I think I'm doing an analogy. Or is it a metaphor? No, it's an analogy. So I view alcohol and drugs the same way I view phones that used to be. So when I was young, we had phones wired to the walls, dude, with cords connecting them to the wall, right? And they worked. You could pick them up, you called, talk to people, hang up. You had a phone number, people called you there when you were around, and the whole thing. To me, drugs and alcohol, it's funny, there's a phone jack in our kitchen, dude. I think there's a phone jack in here somewhere too. Oh, I think I removed it. There's a phone jack still in our wall, dude, right? Because this house was built in the 80s. Alcohol and drugs to me are no different than a landline. It's like useless. Some archaic form of communication that, yeah, I could probably go get a phone, find a used phone, and plug it in, turn it on, make landline calls, dude. Have a landline number, dude. I could probably do that. But why would I? Because sobriety is like having like a modern iPhone, dude. It's like, why would I go back to a landline? Why would I do that? I can at any time, dude. That like you can do that. Why would I? And that's what I'm trying to get is when you get to the other side of it, drugs and alcohol are about as useful as you know, a landline phone to me, dude. It's like, huh? Why would I do that? And so that's not to say I don't want to use the phone, dude, right? if I'm staying in that analogy. So you know, I'm not anti at all. Like I have to be clear about that. I've found that people that are anti alcohol and drugs kind of are the problem too. You have to make your own choices, man. But all I can say is we live in the modern era where some 56-year-old dude with 15 years sobriety will sit here on YouTube and go, dude, you could waste a lot of your life thinking that the revolution comes in a bottle or some sort of creativity comes in a joint or the solution comes in a pill or there's some sort of super duper connection with God via some DMT molecule, bro, and just let's go to the show and trip, bro. But I can assure you, dude, that you don't need to do that. You don't need to waste your late 20s and your entire 30s and most of your 40s. No, I gotta say the first half of my 20s was rock and roll, dude. But I don't know what kids are doing nowadays. Like I was a rock star, dude. I went for it, bro. All in, dude. And then it just became a trap from my like late 20s through my 30s. And I got sober at 40, right? I get sober at 40. I'm 56 now. Yeah. So I got sober at 40. So yeah. So there's a whole period of my life that was just a giant fucking waste of time, dude. Just fucking stupid. And I'm deliberately using the F word right there. Deliberately. Because that's what it was. It wasn't just a waste of time. It was a fucking waste of time, dude. It was stupid, dude. And why? Why was it so dumb? Because it didn't do anything. I still ended up here. And it wasn't till I got sober that my life actually began to work the way I wanted it to work when I was still getting loaded at 26, right? Because when I was like, 16 to 26, I didn't give a fuck. Why should you? I was footloose and fancy free doing stuff, traipsing across the country, selling books, dude, getting crazy at Grateful Dead shows and Fish shows and telling Ian MacKaye to suck a bag of dicks at a Fugazi show, dude. Like, no problem going ape, dude, skating and surfing and madness. But at some point in my mid-20s, it just became drugs and alcohol, and a whole culture built around me. All my friends were doing it. I lived in Portland. Everyone was doing it in Portland. We just sat around and like drank and smoked weed, dude, and talked about what we were going to do. Took me, I did that for 14, 15 years till I got sober, and then another 8 years of sobriety till I actually started doing the stuff I was talking about doing when I was in my 20s, getting stoned and drunk, dude. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Now it could be said, maybe I don't do any of that stuff. Maybe I don't do any of this stuff anyhow, because maybe I got sober and got run over by an Amtrak. I don't know, dude. But what I can tell you is the time from like my mid-20s to my mid-40s. Fuck, dude. No do-overs, man. So that's why we can't close the door on the past. We don't regret the past nor close the door on it, man. I can't dwell on it. I can't undo the waste of time, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't undo that. I have to use that as a commodity, right? Yeah, I talked to somebody once about like I've talked to a bunch of people about this actually. Is you only like waste that space if you don't get sober? Because if you get sober, it's a commodity of knowledge, dude, that you can use to create a new life that has infinite value. That's the thing is where is it said? No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others, dude. You see, that 20 years that I sat in limbo, trapped by alcoholism and rebooting myself via sobriety, that is all like a super valuable tool. So by the very nature of what I do now, that time wasn't wasted. But if I hadn't gotten sober, that time would be gone for real, dude. Like I think that's the tragedy. That's what I mean about like being like 56 and talking to these people that I know were like still like seeking drugs and stuff. I go, dude, you're like an adult, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like you haven't figured it out yet, dude. Like you're still acting the fool. I had this buddy of mine that I grew up with. I'm not going to mention his name, dude. And I remember we worked together slinging pizzas and stuff when we were like late teens and delivery guys and the whole thing. And just grew up around this guy. And we were all renegades back then, dude. And then I remember running into him when I was still getting wasted. Him and my other buddy were like sober. And I remember being like, and he was sober, dude. And then at some point in the thing, he decided not to be a sober dude. And I was like, oh, that dude decided not to be a sober dude. And then he got sober again and fucked it all up again. And then he smoked these people on the canyon, dude. Put this old lady in the hospital. Just some old mom just cruising home. He took her out, dude. Didn't kill her, but took her out. Went and served like 5 years, dude, in the pokey. And everybody's like, "Oh, that dude." And I'm like, "Fuck that dude, man." That dude's been like majorly sober like 3 times, and he still goes out and does the childlike thing and gets loaded again and is trying to chase what? I don't know, man. I don't I that's where like it's baffling and powerful. Like I don't comprehend. I completely understand why you're getting loaded if you haven't gotten sober. I can't comprehend getting loaded if you've been sober for a long time or any amount of time, dude. Like it's just baffling to me. But I have empathy for it because like I do get how cunning, baffling, and powerful the disease of alcoholism is. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is like, I know people who have bitching lives who got sober and built bitching lives and still are trying to burn it down because they don't want to be like, it's not even they don't want to be sober. They just refuse to do the stuff we do to get sober, man, and stay sober, like, and maintain sobriety, dude. It's it's a trip, dude. I trip out on it, dude. Like the whole thing. Like I don't like that's what I mean. All I really know is how fucked up I was, dude. Right? How out of my mind I was. Just how pickled. Like they say the most two important days of your sobriety is the day before you got sober and the day you're in. Like I fully remember the last day of getting hammered. Ah, God, grim. I remember it, dude. I remember it like it was yesterday, and it kind of was. But like I was isolating up at the Voodoo Bowl. I remember I was down skating the Etnies Bowl because that was kind of my thing. I'd get beers and stuff after work. I was skating down at the Etnies Bowl, and then I recruited. There was a couple. I will say that one of the dudes that was there that night just had a giant shoe release. I had him and this other young dude up, and we went up with one of their dads because they were teens. I was like, "Hey man, I got another pool. We can go skate, dude." And they were like, "All right." And I remember I went up to the Voodoo Bowl because I had the keys to it and I was hiding out up there. And I went up there and these kids were ripping, dude. And like one of them's like a major pro now, but they were ripping. There was a little pack of them, and there was a couple older dudes. I don't think Lance Mountain was there for that one, but somebody gnarly was there with them, dude. Some other shredder. And I remember like I didn't drive after it dark because I drove and drank all the time, dude. But I didn't drive after dark, dude. So you had rules, man. And I was like, oh, it's going to get dark. So I left all those dudes up at the pool because I was like, I'm going to run out of beer because we are having a good time, dude. Skate in the pool, dude. A bunch of young rippers, like, oh, it's on, dude. Shred, dude. And I remember I came down the canyon, down Los Flores, and I was like, ooh, I'm not going on the PCH. No way. So I parked behind the flower shop there at Cosentino's. And I walked. I was like, I'm going to walk over to Country Liquor and buy some alcohol, man. And I was like, I'm going to go over to the Sea Lion. And no, it's not the Sea Lion. It wasn't the Sea Lion. It's not the Sea Lion anymore. I was going to go over. I was like, I'm going to go over to Duke's and go to the bar at Duke's. And I went over to the Duke's bar and like did a bunch of Jägermeisters. I used to like to be fucking extra pickled, dude. Extra pickled. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go, dude, before the Country Liquor closes, dude. Hammered. And I bought a 12-pack, bag of Doritos, some Slim Jims, and a pack of Marlboro Reds, dude. And that's when I ran into David and Joe, dude. Fucking out of my mind, drunk. And I just left These gnarly kids who were about to become pros, who would eventually become pro skaters.
It's like 7:45.
I know I'm going till 8, bud. Yeah. And man, turns out the dad that had the kid there was a sober dude. It's funny, man. I had this trippy scene, like my alcoholism had built this like weird scene. I had these pools all locked down up in the mountains, and I used to just go up there and drink. But I remember that's when it was starting to get the end. The end is I wasn't even that into skating anymore. I got bored because I was just by myself. Dude, skating by yourself sucks, dude. And I remember that, dude. I just remember that need for me to leave. Like there was a banging pool session going on with these young dudes and these other pros. I forget. I want to say Lance Mountain was there. In fact, I'm almost positive Lance Mountain was there. Because he came back another time, dude, because I was the guy with the keys. I'm pretty sure Lance Mountain was there with these two. And I was like, I gotta go, dude. I was like, I remember telling you, I was just lock the gate when you guys leave, dude. I gotta go. Because getting more alcohol before it turned dark was way more important than shredding with these kids, man, and Lance Mountain. But I had a whole scene going on. You get what I'm saying? Because see, alcoholism's gnarly, dude. Like you can build a cover story. See, I was able to hide out as a drunk and a drug addict way longer than I should have because I was a surfer and a skater, right? Like cultural norms, dude. I was no one noticed. I was just another skater, surfer dude drinking. They didn't know inside I was dying. Gnarly, dude. But I look back on it and I don't like right now, 15 years later, my little dude just coming in and rousting me, laying tiles on my floor, dude. Still skating, still surfing, trying to grow organic food and deal with life's crushing issues. And I can't imagine wanting to be in that place. But I was listening to a pastor the other day. You know, if it wasn't for that place, I wouldn't have gotten here either. So God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself, which was freeing me up. God, I remember the bondage of drugs and alcohol at the end, man. Talk about miserable. Like that's what I'm saying is even if you're having a good time, dude, like it turns, dude. It turns on you, dude. Then you're just a prisoner. Then you can't get out. It's literally like backpacking into Laos during the Vietnam War, dude. You somehow stumbled back into the backcountry of enemy territory, dude. You ain't hiking back out, dude, anytime soon, dude. there's a bamboo box waiting for you, dude. And that's what I did. And so, I mean, that's all I really can tell you about like this thing is like, you don't need to go do it. You don't need to go where I've gone. Like I went and have followed everybody else back behind enemy lines, dude. There ain't nothing back there except a bamboo box with a corrugated tin roof and some cockroaches and a bunch of angry Laotian fucking soldiers getting ready to bayonet you, dude. Oh, dude. I'll tell you what, man. Right now, dude, I have the weight of the world right now on my shoulders with what's going on in my life. But I am joyous, happy, and free, dude. I am not gonna drink tonight, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. That in itself, dude, is like and that's why like I'm stoked about Sober Wednesday, dude. Like today. It's not because any of this is going to solve my problem. It's because like I needed to remind myself that that's all I needed to do today was remain sober. Like, yeah, dude, I'm going to pull this off today. I'm going to get through whatever's going on right now in my life, dude, and maintain. You're either a warrior or a victim, baby. You're either a warrior or a victim. And yeah, so as we what are we at? We're at the 50-minute mark. I should check in with y'all. God bless you, pal. Best of luck with thank you. Obi-Wan Kenobi just came from the Lego channel. You're awesome, man. Glad you got straightened out and have such a beautiful relationship with your kid. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi, dude. I think we're gonna go live streaming there tonight. I got that one of those sets. I got a set. Yeah, sobriety, dude. 876T86, dude. We're keeping Heath Schmidt. You know you got a problem when you give up a session with Lance Mountain. Yeah. But you know, dude, I got my sobriety also got me back in with Lance Mountain too, dude. I got my Lance Mountain pool tile, dude. Signed by Lance himself, dude. You know, if I didn't get sober, I don't get to go rolling with Peacock and Jesse and all those gnarly Gravette and all those dudes. See, that's the thing. Like sobriety got me to got me in with like a huge cadre of super cool skaters, man. Like I never would have gotten to meet any of those dudes just creedling up at the Voodoo Bowl. And I'm traveling and was tempted to grab beers. Sober Wednesday always comes in the clutch. There you go, Bobby J. Yeah, you want to travel on the high frequency. You don't want to get jammed up, dude. That maybe next Sober Wednesday I'll tell stories about like traveling, road tripping. Fuck, dude. I don't even know how I made it sometimes if I really think about it. Yeah, dude. So on the way out the door, dude, listen. Suicide is no solution. Dude, I forgot it. I didn't realize till recently that when I say that I get my channel gets shadow banned, dude. I'm supposed to say there's some sort of hobo code. Fuck it, dude. Don't kill yourself, man. Don't commit suicide, dude. Call the numbers, dude. Talk to somebody, dude. And realize that your life is worth hanging on to, dude. Really, seriously, dude. And sewer slide, dude. That's it. Yeah, don't do the sewer slide, dude. I'll try to remember next time, dude. Sewer slide. And but whatever, man. I ain't gonna be edited about something like this. Like if I'm gonna get censored for trying to get people not to kill themselves, dude, like, well then then it's a dark reality, dude, right? So listen, man, choose life, dude. It's super important. Usually a couple numbers. It's the 988 is the text. Will get you to the prevention line in the United States. 1-800-866-TALK, I think it is, dude. And you're welcome. Thank you, Bethel, Bobby Ribby, and Heath Schmidt. And listen, dude, if you want to get sober, you're trying to get sober, 116123. I think that's and will be in Ireland. And listen, if you're struggling with drugs and alcohol, dude, all you got to do is ask for help, man. It's pretty basic, but you can't ask for help from like a stranger or a civilian. You got to ask for help from one of us, the army of sober people, dude, out there. And the easiest way to get a hold of one of us is wherever you are in pretty much the Western world, you can just type in your town or county or community AA central office, and you will get a number and probably a list of meetings you can attend. And you call up that number and just go, dude, I can't stop drinking or drugging. And they'll be like, here, let us help you, dude. And you'll run into somebody who is there because they want to help you. No one's getting paid to do this, dude. And then you'll get someone will come and help you, dude, and show you how we do it, dude. And it's pretty simple. We're super complicated. That's the hard part is us. And yeah, well, you can't call Jesus when you're hammered, dude. It's sort of putting the cart before the horse, dude. It's important. It's about rewiring the neural net. I mean, you can definitely ask Jesus for your help, but he's probably going to send a sober person your way. That's what happened in my case, if you will. Like, I asked God for help, and God sent David and Joe to park crooked in front of Country Liquor when I was ham-skied that night, dude. And I hassled them, and I saw God in their eyes. So, yeah, ask God, dude. Ask Jesus to help you, man. But Jesus is ultimately going to have you make a phone call and get with some sober people. I'll just tell you, that's usually God. See, you have to understand, as sober people are doing God's work, dude. So that's the way it's going to work out anyhow. Yeah. So call the just AA central office. You'll get a list of numbers, dude. That's a quick way to do what Jesus would tell you to do. Or you can do the other way and like wait for the dominoes to line up, and hopefully you'll have a moment of clarity, and you'll see God in a sober dude's eyes, and you will get it that way. But that's a little bit chancier. That's based upon a lot of human variables. And I will say that probably the easiest way to do it is to just go to one of the meetings in the list and raise your hand and identify, and guys, like, it's sober. They'll go, okay, dude, like, we got a hot one, dude. And you know that there's no requirements to be sober to ask for sobriety. You don't need to be sober to go to an AA meeting, dude. You do know that, right? Like, you can show up ham-skied, you just can't share, but you can show up drunk as fuck, dude, or drugged up, or whatever's got you going on. So with that said, I'm going to do the serenity prayer on the way out. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Love yourself, man. Super important. If you can't love yourself, let some other people love you. Back to loving yourself, dude. All right. Everyone have a beautiful night. Take care of yourself. Help someone. Use the name tags. God's waiting, but it's not a prerequisite, dude. All right. See you, Illusion, signing off.